All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the August 3rd meeting of SIG Cloud Provider. Let's see. Please remember to mind the code of conduct, and we'll go ahead and get started with the agenda, or actually take that back. We'll go ahead and get started with triage. So let's take a look at our open issues right now. We've got, this looks like about 5. First one is AWS NLB. That doesn't sound great. All right. Node state changes causes excessive LB reconfigurations. This is interesting.
But is it cloud provider specific or as a general issue?
Good question. They seem to think it's.
I was gonna say, I think it's a general issue, but it's a general issue in a controller we own.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It looks like it would be because of the service controller, I guess.
Why are you saying that we are owning the service controller? I mean,
I didn't take them to think it was the service controller. I thought they were saying it was the cloud lifecycle controller.
Is it? Let's see.
Or, I mean, they're definitely talking about services as well. I thought could you go up just a little bit, Nick? Oh, no.
So it's Cloud API calls for LB reconfigurations. I know the reconfigurations would be directly because of the service controller, right?
Yeah, no, that would make sense. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is they keep referring to the CCM, but it's which I think it's less about the CCM, and it's really what matters is which controller within the CCM.
Right.
Yeah, the probably workaround just run the service controller from the KCM wouldn't help here, so it's not CCM specific.
So this part here, like canceling the scheduled eviction for the endpoint hosted on node 25 for service 1. Is that KCM? Like,
well, I mean, this is part of the problem here is they're talking about controller managers, but to understand this problem, we need to understand controllers, not controller managers.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, and I'm wondering, like, endpoints is its own controller, right? There's like a, if I remember correctly, there's an endpoints controller or something.
Yes,
yeah, there's definitely an endpoints controller.
Yeah, so probably spread across multiple.
Yeah, it's just when I read things like, the vision I have is to remove the sync function for transitioning node readiness from the CCM altogether, which is like, maybe, but it's not about the CCM, it's about the individual controllers. And in fact, which controllers run in which controller managers actually changes by cloud provider. So we really needs to be a discussion about controllers, but
yeah, well, definitely should be. I think we can definitely accept it, at least to discuss it.
yeah,
I won't assign it yet, but I will CC all of us.
actually, I would suggest we not triage it yet if we're not going to assign it.
Okay, fair.
I think CCing it's a good idea, but let's leave it open and triage it once we feel like we have a plan.
What is your handle?
JPR.
JP. Oh, there's
second row.
Yep, got it. All right.
All right.
Who do you want on this one?
You want this, or you want to give this one to me, Jakob?
Well, let's assign me. Probably I will ping you what to do exactly with this, but let's assign me.
What was it again? JPR.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do know that we just recently went through a bout of upgrading the cause version across. So it may be worth checking to see what the actual cause version was or is for these tests.
Oh, thanks for tip.
Azure. We have an assignment.
Bridget.
Bridget is not here.
Yes, but we probably, what I would do is at least CC or assign it to Bridget and she'll find the owner. Although if Feisker is on it, that's probably the right owner.
Yeah, I feel like we can just accept the triage and leave it at that. Like they've got this. Looks like they've got this.
Yep.
All right.
Is it assigned to FiSecure though?
That's a good question.
Yeah, let's just assign it.
It's assigned to LZ chain.
All right.
Who hasn't commented on it.
Yeah, but FiSecure is
but
assigned to them, so I'm
Yep,
assuming.
okay, I think that's good.
Oh,
This
issue.
is, yeah, your issue.
Okay, so I needed to add metrics to KCM/CCM to kind of track the HA migration, and this is already merged from the extraction migration point of view. We are able to track required tree.
Awesome. So should we just assign it to you and then you can close it out?
Yeah, I can write the explanation for this and what was needed.
Okay. You do some sub-project updates. Looks like not a lot of people are here today, so can start with AWS. I don't think Alibaba and Baidu are here. I was just going to copy this change in. We just had a bug fix for basically this rate limiting issue we had. Azure. Let's see, nobody's here for Azure. Do either one of you want to take GCP?
Well, from the last update, the change is that we have released the 1.24 image and are starting working on 1.25.
Cool. All right. Huawei,
one additional quick point. We did upgrade, I think, a couple of the OS versions. It hadn't been done in a while. So yeah, you'll find like a new version of Cause, and I think maybe even new versions of Ubuntu for all the GCP stuff.
It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. And then extraction migration.
And so we'll the test grid is running. It's not it's not even properly running yet. We're hitting a interesting problem with getting the kubelet to actually successfully come up. The kubelets crash looping on a cert signing issue. So I'm reaching out to the security team, probably Mike, and trying to work out how to get past that. It's a little tricky. We solved the problem on Cloud Provider GCP, but I'm trying to work out how to get past it on KK. Because right now we get past it using a Google binary that isn't available on KK.
Got it. Okay. All right. Should we move on to the agenda? Actually, we could take a quick break here. So two people from my team I see have joined, Ernest and Rosita. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? Introduce yourselves.
Sure. Hey, I'm Ernest. Just joined AWS 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. Before that, I was actually working on Azure related to Kubernetes. So nice to meet you all.
Congratulations.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks for joining.
Hi, my name is Rasita. I've been with AWS for a little over a year now. Excited to be contributing to the upstream issues as well.
Yeah, congratulations. Good to have you on board.
Cool.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for joining, guys. All right, and now agenda. So I wanted to just go over like 120.25, what we got in. If there's anything we need to, I know code freeze was yesterday, but if there's anything we need to try to merge last minute or get an exception for. So I have a couple. Jakob, you want to start with the metrics thing? Is there anything else you want to mention about that, or?
Well, sure. I've merged metrics required to track if controllers are running in KCM and CCM, running managed controllers. It's a single metric that provides 1 or 0 for service, route, node IPAM, and other shared controllers between the KCM and CCM. And it's either 1 or 0 depending if this is running in specific controller manager. It's especially useful when someone is working on HA migration to kind of track the success of the migration.
Got it. Is it? Can you remind me? Is it? You said it's one metric. It's 1 or 0, or is it one metric per controller?
It's one. The metric is running managed instance. It has label per controller, and the value of this metric with specific label is always 1 or 0. So there is label for service controller, there is label for route controller, and so on.
I see. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. All right. Do you want to link that here?
Sure. Probably the issue will be the best part for that.
All right, so I'll start with this one. Okay, so Walter, I feel like this could probably just be merged. It has LGTM. If you want to approve this, I can explain what it is. And assuming you agree with it, but it's just a replacement. Let me just change this really quick to, oops, where's the view thing? Oh, there we go. It's a replacement for, like, a long-term replacement for the cloud provider flag. So there's a deprecation warning on it. My initial PR here was to just undeprecate the flag. But I got pushback that we don't need a flag with, like arbitrary values anymore, because the only thing that we need to signify, or the only thing we need to allow users to configure is whether there's an external cloud provider or not. And the reason we need that ability is because we need to be able to apply the taints or not apply the taints that the cloud provider will remove. So the suggestion was to add another kubelet config, which is just like a Boolean. So this is kind of supposed to be the long-term configuration option, and then the cloud provider flag will be deprecated. And yeah, that's all this does.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, I like moving away from the cloud provider and then.
Yeah, just a simple config option.
All right, and then just to throw, I like it. I'm happy to approve it. I do feel the need to ask one question, which relates to a conversation we had in cloud provider extraction.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things in cloud provider extraction that came up in the last cloud provider extraction meeting, but we didn't get to the bottom of, was that one of the new cloud providers was wondering if there was a nice way to hook in to be able to run extra controllers, and they were having a problem doing this because the existing cloud lifecycle controller is going to clear the taint. And what they wanted to do is do extra configurations. So, I mean, there seem to be, at some level, 3 ways to go about this. One, we tell them to patch that controller, but that means that they have to carry patches every time. And we've always tried to avoid telling people to carry patches, because if we change the business logic, that can really make carrying those patches painful and expensive. We could add a hook into the code so that all they have to do is implement the method, and that method is called at a well understood point in that controller. So now, it's a lot easier and you're not really carrying a patch, but someone's got to design that system. The third option would seem to be if we could find a way to add an additional taint. And so the question I'm going to ask is, and we could even do it with an extra flag, is would it make sense to sort of redo this instead of it being, do you want me to add the standard taint, is, what are the taints you want me to add? And then the default value would be the default cloud provider taint, but you could actually provide a list of other taints as well if you were going to run extra controllers.
Yeah, that is an interesting use case, and it does seem relevant. Okay, yeah, I'm convinced that we should consider that at least before merging this. If you want to comment on that.
Let me just quickly pull up the use case. This one. All right, I will find it later and bring it back. I'm not able to find it off the. Yeah, I'm gonna need. Actually, hang on. Let me try one other place. Oh, I see. I didn't get it as a bug. All right. Let me just add it to the doc then.
Okay. Do you mind if I CC you on this?
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all. I'm just going to add the quote. All right. Yeah, I just added it to the agenda if you want to take a quick look at the agenda. So this is actually just a question I got.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So, yeah, I could see us taking that into account when we, you know, if we're going to change the configuration API, then we might as well take this into account. So good timing on their part. Okay, yeah, I CC'd you on it. Either one of us can kind of look at this and summarize it on my PR, and we can, I don't know, think about what we want. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, last one that I have is webhook framework thingy. So I didn't get to this until like this week because of some prior commitments, but it's not super far away. But I would need probably, like, Walter, your commitment this week for next couple of days. So if I have that, I think we should try to file an exception. What do you think, Walter?
Yeah, I'm all for it. If you could ping me on Slack, I will make sure to devote some time to reviewing this.
Cool. Will do. Yeah, all right. I will do that. I'll ping you on Slack, and I will ping you about the exception, getting that in motion. All right, cool. Do we have anything else that we want to discuss? It's an agenda. Anybody? Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
next week.